My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but you need to vacate this home.
Why, officer? I own this home free and clear. I lived here for 40 years.
Well, unfortunately, this paperwork says otherwise.
But I have nowhere else to go.
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
This story is becoming all too common in the U.S. Scammers are preying on people with high equity or who own their homes free and clear of a mortgage. Only one company completely protects you. That's Equity Protect. Get your free risk report by texting the word home to 94878. Again, text the word home to 94878 to get your free risk report from Equity Protect.
Rocket 102.5.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. Bright sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 48. Winds out of the west, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 24. Daytime highs approaching 55 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Lots of sunshine Friday with highs around 48. 24, slight chance for snow showers Saturday. Looking at the long range, 15 Sunday, 14 Monday, and 25 on Tuesday. Once again, high of 48 today. We should dip to 24 tonight, a high of 55 tomorrow. A dusting of snow Friday night. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Right now, 19.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Now at Staples. Find hot deals on HP, America's most trusted printer brand. Whether you need to print invoices or eye-catching presentations, HP delivers with exceptional speed, reliability, and vibrant color. And with HP, replenishing ink is simple. Find HP ink cartridges in-store at Staples or subscribe to HP Instant Ink and never worry about running out. And right now with home and office hot deals at Staples, you can save up to $150 on select HP printers through February 1st.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Drive into the new year with incredible deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, get a $3,000 total cash allowance on the 24 Chevy Suburban or take home a 25 Chevy Equinox with 2.9% APR financing plus no payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Looking for a truck? Get 0% APR on the 24 GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine for well-qualified buyers and score $3,250 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
At NextTech Wireless, we're committed to delivering more than just quality wireless service. We're here to provide you with exceptional customer support every step of the way. Experience our service risk-free for 30 days. Plus, for a limited time, get an iPhone 16 Pro Max on us when you buy one with our best plan and handset protection. NextTech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
Phones nowadays can do practically anything, including feed you.
And now they cannot.
Well, that is if you download the McDonald's app. Use the McDonald's app to get deals on the food you love, including McCafes, soft drinks, fries, and so much more. Plus, keep up to date on what's trending at McDonald's with the latest promotions, events, new products, and specials. You can even order and pay from the app. So download it today and score from your local McDonald's at Burlington, Colby, Goodland, and Lamar.
The Burlington Home Store has a yard work center. They're your garden center, everything you need. Home construction and repair, plus a great line of cleaning supplies and appliances for your home. Burlington Home Store, your full-service lumber yard. You'll need hand and power tools, too. They've got them. By your windows, storm doors, screens, maybe even a barbecue grill. All at your Burlington Home Store, West Burlington. And the staff knows how to help you. And they will, too, at the Burlington Home Store.
At FNB Bank, we understand the backbone of our community is our local farmers and ranchers. Whether you're growing crops, raising livestock, or investing in new equipment, we're here to help you succeed. Our agricultural loans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your farm, with flexible terms from people who understand what it takes to make it in agriculture. When you partner with FNB Bank, you're working with neighbors who know the land and are invested in your success. FNB Bank, rooted in our community, growing with you. Member FDIC.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat. Amazing to me.
The region's only local sports talk.
Listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys, everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
It's been a long, long time. But the Goodland Cowboys are going to play for a state title.
To the pros.
How about a walk-off grand slam? Touch of all time, Ryan McMahon.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hawkesbury and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Well, Max, it happened today. It's all today. It happened today. I got caught by the train.
Really?
By the train this morning.
Wow. And that's a first?
That is a first. It is a first. But I got caught by the train this morning. Still made it on time, obviously.
Right.
But got caught by the train for the first time here this morning. It happened. So,
oh boy,
you know, it's just the way it the way it is sometimes. But luckily, the train, I got there and it was moving at a decent pace and it wasn't super long. We were able to get by. But yeah, there's been a lot of action out here at the train depot since we've moved over here to the new location. I mean, yesterday they got a new crossbar thing because somebody, I think, came late and knocked half the arm off, and then somebody drove into it, apparently at one point in time. So and now we got a brand new one that was installed yesterday, and so I got to see that firsthand, up and close and personal. So, but yeah, today was the first day I got caught by the train on my way.
It's going to happen again.
Oh, it will. You are right.
I was a betting man.
It will happen again.
Yeah.
I would agree. It will happen again. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Welcome inside the Morning Blitz here on this January the 15th. Going to be a nice day today. Expected temperatures in around the mid to upper 40s. Currently sitting around 18 to 20 degrees, but clear skies to get our day started here on this Wednesday morning. We've got lots of things to get to in the show today. We'll wrap up the Broncos regular season with some thoughts from our good friend from DNVR. Broncos reporter Henry Chisholm's going to stop by the program and visit with us about all the stuff that's going on with the Denver Broncos, his thoughts as their season came to an end, and just kind of put a bow on what was a successful season for the Denver Broncos, even though it might be over after the wild card round of the playoffs. But he'll be joining us coming up here in about 20 to 25 minutes or so. We will get into the loss last night of K-State falling to Texas Tech. Do you know how long they went in the last? You know how long the drought was at the end of the game?
Well, they scored 2 minutes in the last 5.5. They scored 8 in the last 8. I know that, and I know that it was a 6-2. I believe in what was it? It was a 6-2 score. If you Texas Tech outscored K-State 6-2 in like something crazy. It was like 8 minutes or something
Kansas
like that.
State was held scoreless in the final 5 minutes and 50 seconds of the game, missing their last 8 shots.
That is unbelievable. Texas Tech outscores K-State, 6-2 over the final 8 minutes of tonight's win in Manhattan. Was a
Talk about not being able to buy a bucket, right?
That is some sloppy basketball. That is one of the slots. You don't see that often. I mean, 6-2 with 8 minutes. That is ridiculous on both sides.
Yeah,
on both sides.
Nope, you are correct. You are correct. That is a tough one for sure. But yeah, we'll get to Kansas State and KU. A huge game tonight, massive game, taking on Iowa State in Hilton Coliseum. Hilton Magic will be on full display tonight, but that's a big time game, a top 10 matchup between the Jayhawks and the Cyclones. Colorado plays tonight as well. Fort Hays Tech, Northwest, and Colby Community College square off inside the Max Jones Fieldhouse this evening. Notice I got my Tech Tiger polo on today, as we'll have coverage of that on Goodland's Rock at 102.5. So we got that to get to, all coming up in today's program. We'll get to all the thoughts of that throughout the show. The FB Bank text line, always open and operational at 785-899-2222. If you want to get your thoughts and comments in on the show, please, by all means, chime in, give us your thoughts throughout this program. Last night, another great night of high school basketball. And, of course, we saw a fantastic game late last night as the Goodland Cowboys closed on a 12-2 run to win at Colby, 58-49. Prior to that, the Colby girls continued to flex on how good they are here in this 24-25 season. They beat Goodland by 20, 50-30 was the score last night, as Elizabeth Barton led the way with 25 points to my account.
I had 25 as well, so I think.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're on the same boat.
Well, also, it's good at Colby is the scoreboard can kind of back us up.
That's true. That's true. At least you hope the scoreboard's right. But anyway, 25 points for Elizabeth Barton. She led the way for the Colby Eagles. So let's dive into this game. We'll get some other scores as well, including interesting score from boys basketball last night. That has a little bit interesting meaning. But anyway, we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. Let's dive into this Colby Goodland game, the recaps from last night. I'll let you pick. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
We can start with the girls' game.
Yeah, we'll start with the girls' game.
Yeah, 50-3. I thought it was just a great performance, and I said this in the yesterday on the show that I thought this offense was at its best when Elizabeth Barton was getting to the free throw line a lot, and that's exactly what she was doing last night, especially early in the game. She went 8 of 8. I believe, from the stripe last night. And yeah, when she was aggressive early and really took over this game from the beginning. I know starting the game, it was Allie Cure who hit a 3-point shot. Goodland had the 3-point lead, and then Colby went on a 14-0 run and really never looked back. So really a good performance. I thought Logan Nolan played great, getting back into double digits for, I think, either the first or second time this year that she's been in double digits, because we've also talked about her maybe starting to get a little more aggressive offensively. But yeah, it was really the Elizabeth Barton show, and sometimes that's all the Eagles need because of how talented she is offensively and also defensively. Some great defense from her as well that can go unnoticed at times because of how good she is on offense. But again, another solid performance. It just makes me think a little bit more about that Hoxie loss, because it just felt like they were a little more, they just had that extra rust to get off compared to Hoxie in that loss a week ago, and then they bounced back really quick. So it's been good to see that in the last 2 games. But yeah, I thought it was a solid performance from the Lady Eagles once again.
They were clinical last night. Colby was. They were fantastic in all areas. Elizabeth Barton was just fantastic. Whenever they needed a bucket, it just seemed like, well, I'll just get it 21, and she's going to find a way to put her head down and get to the basket and get that little baseline floater shot that she seemed to knock in. And I don't know what they shot in the first half, Colby, that is, but it had to be a really high percentage. Like, I would bet it was over 60%. They shot the ball unbelievably well. There weren't many rebounds for Goodland to pick up because their shots were just everything was going for Colby. And give them all the credit. That was on them. They had great execution. You can just tell by watching these two teams play. If you go back, if you rolled the calendar back a couple of years, you would see the exact opposite. You would see Goodland out there moving and flowing and having great offense and getting stops defensively. And you'd have Colby kind of being, for the lack of, I'm going to call clunky, a little clunky, robotic on offense, struggling to get stops. that's what you would see with the older team against a younger team. And now that it's flipped here 2 years later, Colby's the older team. They're the experienced team. They know how to operate around the 1-3-1 zone. They know how to beat certain spots. I mean, these two teams have played each other so much over the course of the last couple of years that these coaches and these players, they know each other so well, and they know exactly what the other team's trying to do to each other. And Colby has just done a fantastic job through 2 meetings this year of executing the game plan that Coach Yancey Walker has put out there. It's just been so good. And when you've got players that are knocking in shots, like Elizabeth Barton putting in 25, and like you mentioned, Logan Nolan getting her 10, it's a very, very difficult team to stop. And I had some audio this morning, but it's not working for me, unfortunately. But Bill Bierman talked to me post-game, and he said, he was very disappointed in what happened last night, because he thought that his team could compete better than that. Getting beat by 20 was not on his dance card. I think he thought that after getting beat by, I think it was 18 here at the Max Jones Fieldhouse at the Topside Tip-Off Tournament, I think he thought they'd be able to get it a little bit closer and be more competitive game. And in fact, it was in the opposite direction. Goodland just did not do a very good job defensively, did not communicate very well, did not rotate very well. And so he said the words disappointment. He was very disappointed in what happened last night. And it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be a very difficult task for the Cowgirls this year to beat Colby. And it is going to be for a lot of teams because Colby just has that cohesiveness that you should have when you've played together for 3 to 4 years consecutively. And they've got that cohesiveness, and they have a bucket getter, which I think you have to have. You have to have someone that can go get you a basket when no shots are falling. They have a great point guard, which I think is always an added value. I know some people don't think that that's kind of overrated, but I've always been a big fan of a great point guard bringing the ball down the floor. And they got some size inside as well, and they passed the ball very well last night. So that was a tough pill to swallow for the Goodland Cowgirl faithful, but give all the credit to Colby. They were fantastic last night. They did pretty much everything right. I don't know if there was much that actually went wrong from Colby's perspective last night in that girls' game.
I'm with you 100%. Moving on to the boys' game. Obviously, Goodland coming up with that win, and I think it was one of those games where you look at the final scoreboard and you're like, all right, well, Goodland kind of had that one, but no, it was much closer. What?
No, because it wasn't that way. No, it wasn't that way at all. In fact, there were 7. I think I had 8 lead changes and 8 ties, I think, in that game.
Yeah. No, yeah. So 100%. They pulled away at the end with a 12-1 run, but and they did lead by 11 in the fourth quarter, and good job for Colby. I was really, I was happy with their performance until that run, really, of just, they were fighting back and they were keeping up with the Cowboys. I thought it was a very impressive game from Guy Tubbs and Jordan Jones. Jordan Jones, especially when he went on that heater in the fourth quarter to really get this game back and within reach. But just came down to the end. I think that Blair Lynn 3 was really what just completely flipped the switch for
straw that broke the camel's back.
What'd you say?
Straw that broke the camel's back, kind of.
A little bit of that. Which it just kind of, you could feel the dagger a little bit on the Colby side of things after that 3. But that being said, I really do think that Colby is continuing to play good basketball. I think they just are, Goodland's a really good team, and they've got a bunch of really talented seniors, and they have, the size advantage at almost every position. It's going to take a lot for Colby just to get a rebound. And that's what Coach Stevens was telling me after the game. Just, he didn't say it like that, but he said, they need to be better on rebounding. But I'm like, it's hard when, you're going up against 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". It's going to be tough to get an offensive or a defensive or offensive rebound. And it really showed last night. But I guess too many turnovers for Colby, especially late.
That was the big thing for me.
That was the big thing at the end of the game. But that being said, I thought they did a good job fighting back. Grant Stevens went out, and you're short a man, and then Tubbs was in some foul trouble. Kirstenbrock was in some foul trouble at the end of the game too. Tubbs did end up fouling out. But at that point it was pretty much over. But Stevens going out, coach told me after it's probably a ankle sprain for Grant Stevens. So we'll see how he's doing. But yeah, tough loss. They were not happy after, but definitely I think it was something to build off for going against Scott on Friday.
Well, I do know one thing. Watching that game last night, it was just so entertaining, back and forth. I mean, I don't think any team led by more than 4 until late in the third quarter when Goodland went on a bit of a run and led by 11. I think it was 46-35. And then all of a sudden, Colby flipped the switch and was able to rattle off 12 straight points and take the lead 47-46. But then from that point forward, Goodland found a way to clamp down, and they outscored Colby 12-2 over the final few minutes of that game, including that Blair Linden 3, some free throws mixed in there from Lincoln Cure and Brady Brumbaugh, and some big-time buckets. And that, to me, that was the difference of the game. The thing that stands out to me about that game, number one, is Guy Tubbs is an absolute machine. I knew it going in, but it's amazing to me. You get him the basketball within 5 feet, you might as well just hand the ball to the opposition, put 2 points on the scoreboard, and go back and play defense.
That was his best game of the season.
I mean, every time I see him play against maybe it's just because he plays against Goodland this way, and there's guys that are like that, but he just is amazing. Everything is if it's within 5 feet, it's going in. It's a reversal. It's a play along the bay. He's so good. I wish more kids would watch Guy Tubbs and play, because there are more things you can learn from watching Guy Tubbs play basketball. And this is no offense to the guy I'm about to mention, but then watching Lincoln Cure, for example. Lincoln is a fantastic, fantastic player, but he's also a freakish athlete who can jump out of the gym and has skills that not many people possess. Guy Tubbs is a good athlete, is a really good athlete himself, but he plays below the rim like a lot of kids at this level have to play at. And so by watching Guy Tubbs, you would learn a lot on how to play the game. How to use your body to create space under the bucket, how to use the backboard. Anybody happen to see him pull up from 6 or 7 feet and use the kiss off the window in the first half? That was a thing of beauty. If that wasn't 1970s, 80s basketball at its finest, that was fantastic. Using the backboard from that far away. You don't see that very much anymore. And that was a beautiful shot. As an old man, I thought that was great. That was fantastic, Guy. That was my favorite play of the Guy Tubbs last night, Guy. Was the bank shot from, I think it was probably 7 to 8 feet out, just the kiss off the glass. That was gorgeous. You don't see that enough anymore.
I think also why he plays so well against Goodland, I guess I could be wrong on this. Maybe it's just coincidence, but I think he gets a little fired up with the matchup. You know, him and Lincoln are good friends, from what I understand. So I think he gets a little fired up with that matchup too. And
I love to watch their interaction. It's great.
It's great. So I think
happens, they chuckle about it. They kind of laugh it off, like, oh, there's a foul. You know, they kind of laugh it off. It's kind of funny.
So I think that goes into maybe him playing a little better against Goodland, but also, you know, Braden Voss had led the team in scoring the last 2 games, and he only I had him at a point. Did I miss a couple, or did he only have 1 free throw?
I think Voss only had a free throw is all I got for him.
So that was the most surprising, but it's not even like he was missing shots. He just really didn't take a lot. He didn't take a lot of shots.
Yeah, he wasn't as aggressive. Now why that is, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the matchups weren't as favorable for Voss, you could say, as they were against Hugoton, another as well as Cimarron, but definitely was surprised about that. I thought also Max Kirstenbrock, someone texted that in yesterday, how good he's been playing off the bench. His defensive performance for down the stretch in the fourth quarter should not go unnoticed, because he had a couple of fantastic steals and blocks, and he really has been playing some great defense. I know he didn't get on the board offensively, but defensively was the story for Max Kirstenbrock last night. But again, ultimately not enough. And it's going to be tough for this team to, you know, go into Max Jones Fieldhouse later in the year and find a way to just get over that edge. I know it's closer than it was in the championship, and hopefully it'll be even closer next time. But just down the stretch, too many turnovers and too many missed chances when the game felt like it was right there at one point.
There's just not enough depth for Colby. I mean, they had to dig in their bench deeper than they probably have all season last night, throwing Coben Curry in there and Josiah Hoppy. I mean, they had to dig in extra deep when Grant Stevens went out and with foul trouble. There's just I know that you can play with 6 guys. I get that, but it's just, you've got to have a little bit. When Goodland can roll 9 guys at you and just continue to go out there, and they have fouls to give. Brian texts in on the FB Bank text line talking about Rhett Irid calling him the tank, because he's just this big body out there that has 5 fouls, and if he gets you some points and some rebounds, it's an added bonus. It's icing on the cake. And Colby doesn't have that luxury. Guy Tubbs picked up a cheap foul early in the game. It didn't matter much, but that was a cheap foul that, didn't really have to have. Tried to reach in and steal one away. And that's the thing about Colby. They have to be a little bit selective on when to be extra aggressive, because if they get in foul trouble, they're going to be in a tough spot.
Yeah, but that being said, it was still a winnable game.
Oh, it absolutely was.
It was an absolutely winnable game, and I still think that Colby can beat Goodland. It's going to take more out of everyone else besides Guy Tubbs and Jones offensively. And
yes, you're going to have
that was the question after the loss to Goodland in the championship game, was who was going to step up and be the third scorer, at least in my mind. And then you saw Braden Voss respond, and you saw even Grant Stevens scoring more, and even guys like Max Kirstenbach. I mean, there's been 2 games where they've had 4 or 5 guys in double figures, and then that kind of went away. And I'm not sure if that's 100% credit to Goodland's defense, or just kind of Colby being a little less aggressive, at least the surrounding cast of Jones and Tubbs.
The surrounding cast needs to be more productive offensively.
100%.
Simple as that. Goodland is getting more of that from their surrounding cast than Colby is from theirs. Like Zach Thorson last night goes out there and has 8 points. That's big. Braylon Mole had an off night, but Red Eyrig had 4 points last night. You got some other guys to step in and chip in. Blair Lynn with that big 3, and I think he had 5 points last night. Should have had more. Missed a couple of easy layups. But it's those guys that make the difference when you have, because you pretty much go across the board and you say, well, you've got Jordan Jones. Okay, he's really good. And you've got Guy Tubbs. He's really good. You got Brady Brumbaugh. He's really good, who had 25 last night and is now 8 points shy of 1,000, I believe, if my math is correct. And then you have Lincoln Curran. He's really good. And then you kind of go down the roster. And, if you just kind of check them off, and right now you're going to see that Goodland's getting more production out of their role guys than Colby is, at least in that game last night.
And I think also the other thing that really I noticed last night was Brady Brumbaugh was missing 3s early, and you kind of felt, okay, that's another break. That's another break for the Eagles. Another break for the Eagles. I think I kept saying that on the broadcast.
Not hit the 3 ball this year, like they have.
But watching it, and I don't even, I've only watched Goodland twice this year, and I already know, like, all right, those are going to fall. At some point in this game, Brady Brumbaugh is going to start to hit those 3.
I hope you are right.
I was right, because he hit a couple more 3s on those shots that I'm like, at some point, he's going to hit one of those, and it's going to mean something, because he's missed too many to where it's going to come back to haunt the Colby defense, because I thought he had too many good looks at times from 3, and I think if he was to make those, it would have been a different ball game. But Colby was able to kind of hang around for longer than maybe even they should have, because of some of those open looks that they were giving Goodland.
Jordan Jones, same thing. Jordan Jones had some open looks. He missed some.
Yeah.
Jordan Jones had some opportunities.
Well, Jones is a guy that he's going to get buckets quick. He's going to score 12 in 3 minutes in the first quarter. And then he won't score again until the third. And then he'll score another 6, and then he won't. They come in bunches when it's Jordan Jones, which is, that's kind of just his play style. He just starts to get hot at certain times, which is good sometimes, and other times like, all right, we want some more consistency here. But last night it benefited them, because when they need to run, they're going to go to Jordan Jones, and he got hot right when they needed it.
Yeah, it was fascinating boys game though last night. Definitely. That was highly entertaining. Goodland gets the 58-49 victory, closing the game on a 12-2 run to get the win. And yeah, I'll tell you what, if Goodland, you mentioned 3, but I think Goodland only hit 4 threes last night. And I think Colby hit 2, 3, maybe 2 or 3.
4.
They had 4 threes too.
Because Tubbs hit out 3.
Tubbs hit 1.
Stevens hit 1. Jones hit 2.
Okay, so they had 4. So they both had 4 threes. So last year Goodland was connecting on anywhere from 6 to 11 3-pointers consistently every night, and they have not been in that same boat this year. If and when that happens, it's going to take this team to a whole nother level. I think that's what's impressive. They've been able to win games without having their ability to really hit the 3 ball. I mean, there was a time last year, Max, where Goodland was shooting 41% from 3, and it was in the middle of the season. 41%. And this year, I think they're shooting around 29, 28. That's a massive drop-off. Massive drop-off. And you got to just hope that those shots start falling if you're a Goodland Cowboy fan, because that's the difference between being a team that has a really good regular season and makes a good postseason run to maybe a team that goes all the way and wins it all. That's going to be a difference, in my opinion. But we'll see. Last night, a fantastic game. Shout out once again to Guy Tubbs and how fantastic he was last night. I was highly impressed with him and Brady Brumbaugh and Blair Linden with that 3. It's one of those shots. I was visiting with Raleigh this morning, and Raleigh goes, one of those shots you go, no, yes.
Definitely. That one hurt.
Nonetheless, a great night of high school basketball. Just did not only happen in Colby. There was other good games as well from around the region. You had Rollins. These are girls' scores. We'll start with that. Rollins County with an easy win over Tri-Plains Brewster, 88-17. Quinter with a win over Ingalls, 62-41. Wallace County beat Greeley County, 42-32. Oakley, same score, 42-32. A win over Norton. Big win for the Lady Plainsmen there. And Decatur Community topping Northern Valley, 58-31. Boys scores, Oakley falling to Norton, 63-44. Quinter topping Ingalls, 46-38. Golden Plains falling to Weskin, 56-26. Greeley County beat Wallace County, 56-54. In a close game there, Rollins County blasted Tri-Plains Brewster, 60-12. And Decatur Community won by 20, 69-49 over Northern Valley. And we talked about it yesterday. I think we might have jinxed them. Weskin lost for the first time this year. They fell down at Syracuse, 63-49.
We totally jinxed them.
Well, and we visited with Val Reese, head coach, yesterday on the program. And he said, this week we're going to get tested. And we're going to find out what we can do. And 63-49. I'm guessing that 49 points, I would feel like, without even looking at it, is the lowest point total by a long ways.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Offensively scored. So Syracuse is a good program, and they found a way to, and they're a bigger school. And so a chance for Weskin to bounce back against a school their size, but is unbeaten in Logan Palco coming up here on Friday. But Weskin losing for the first time this year. And by the way, if you missed any of that conversation with Val Reese talking about Weskin basketball and the Weskin community and the great year that they're having here in 24-25, go out and check that. It's a pretty darn good conversation.
Trey Allen only had 20 in that one.
Listen to what you just said.
I know.
Trey Allen only had 20.
Right. Well, when you're averaging 30, what was it, 31?
31.
Yeah. That's only 20, you say.
I
when you're
wish
averaging
that
31.
happened in my basketball playing career. Ross Volkmer only had 20. It was a bad night for him.
I don't think I ever had 20.
I never had 20. Not even close.
I mean, I didn't play high school basketball. I played
rec,
middle school, and then rec basketball.
Rec ball. What was your game? What was your game? Were you a
3-point?
Of course.
No, 3-point. I was a little short Peyton Pritchard type build.
Peyton Pritchard.
I was a little, what's that guy's name on the Pacers? McConnell, TJ McConnell. I had a little bit of that in me. Where I had the baseball passes, and I was good passing, but getting inside of the perimeter was a scary place for me.
That was a scary place, understandably. Also last night, 5th ranked Fort Hays Tech Northwest Wrestling. An easy win over Colby Community College last night, 53-6. That's right. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Wrestling really good again this year, ranked number 5 in the NJCAA. All right, we'll get to a break. We'll come back. We got K-State to talk about, KU to talk about later on the show. But up next, Henry Chisholm is going to stop by the program, and we'll discuss the Denver Broncos season as it came to an end up in Buffalo. That's next in the Morning Blitz.
When getting the job done right is job one. You need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today and ask about the Kubota construction lineup. Take care of your Kubota construction needs at Colby Ag Center, 305 West Horton Avenue in Colby, Kansas.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Tuesday, January 14th. And on the overnight March, corn lower 1 3/4 at 4.74 3/4. May down 1 3/4 at 4.85. July down 1 3/4 at 4.88 1/4. September corn down a cent at 4.55 3/4. March soybeans down 3 on the overnight at 10.50. May down 4.5 at 10.62. July down 5 1/4 at 10.72 3/4. August beans down 6 1/4 at 10.66 1/2. Chicago wheat, the March contract higher 1 1/4 at 5.46 1/4. May up 1.5 at 5.58 1/4. July up 1 3/4 at 5.69 1/4. September up 1 1/4 at 5.82 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the March contract higher 1 1/4 at 5.62 1/4. May up 1 1/4 at 5.71 3/4. July up 2 at 5.81 1/2. September up 1 1/2 at 5.93 1/4. On the stock market this morning, the Dow up $140 at 42,663. The S&P up 26 at 5,901. The Nasdaq up 123 at 21,070. Gold lower $2.50 at 2,675, and crude oil down 39 cents a barrel at 78.43. If you have any questions about marketing grain and would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Dosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Imagine having more days of perfect weather, a combine that's more powerful, or even more soybean bushels per acre at harvest. With Revitec fungicide, you don't have to imagine that last one, because it's proven to deliver up to 9.5 more soybean bushels per acre than the competition. With results like that, it's easy to see why Revitec fungicide is the #1 recommended fungicide by soybean farmers. Visit Revitec.com and talk to your BASF retailer today. Always read and follow label directions.
LivestockMarket.com puts you in control when buying or selling commercial livestock, seed stock, or show stock. The easy-to-use online platform at LivestockMarket.com offers private treaty, online auction, and live
new products, and specials. You can even order and pay from the app. So download it today and score from your local McDonald's at Burlington, Colby, Goodland, and Lamar. New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
You're tuned in to the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The broadcast school has really paid off.
All right, we got about 8 minutes left to go on our program today. Hopefully we fixed the issues with Max joining us on the program now. Sorry, Max.
Oh, you're good. Your mic was, we had some muted mics on the stream.
I had some other issues because I couldn't have Henry Chisholm on either. I had some issues with some other stuff in the book.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if it was totally that, to be completely honest with you.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know, and I apologize for technical difficulties. And like I was telling the people prior to going on a ramble a little bit about Kansas State and their loss last night, when you're producing the show and hosting the show at the same time, it's very hard to solve problems. Very much a challenge.
Very much.
Talked about Kansas State last night, their 4-point loss. I got some thoughts in on that. But tonight, KU and Iowa State, I saved all this for you. With the Jayhawks going to visit the Cyclones, the top 10 matchup. It's at Hilton Coliseum, 6 o'clock Central Time tip-off, which you can hear on Flower Country 97.9. You can watch it on ESPN2 tonight. It's amazing that this is on ESPN2. It should be on ESPN or CBS or something bigger with how big this game is tonight. What are your thoughts going into this matchup here this evening?
Well, it's always hard to play there. I think it's the second hardest place to play in the Big 12 is Iowa State. And KU's got to play better basketball than they did against Cincinnati, in my opinion. I thought defensively they played well. Offensively, they still got to clean things up. They got to not turn the ball over early. That has been the key to the demise of KU basketball and their losses, turning the ball over early and digging themselves into a hole. They need to play clean out the gates and not fall into a big deficit early where they're climbing back for the entire game. Iowa State's a very good basketball team, but I hope we see some fire early from KU because that feels like they just keep coming out antsy and clumsy, and it leads to bad things. Luckily, they're talented enough where they can fix those mistakes and make up for it against teams like Cincinnati. But look, I really want to see this team come out with some fire in Iowa State to try to calm the crowd down, which is going to be loud like it always is when these two teams match up.
I think the amazing thing is Iowa State comes into tonight scoring 86 points per game. God, that's a lot of points.
It is.
Wow. That is a ton. I mean, KU, I think, scores a lot of points, and they're at 77.
Right.
Almost 9 points less. So, I don't know. This will be, I don't feel like Iowa State has got and I haven't seen a ton of Iowa State. I don't feel like Iowa State maybe has the size or maybe even the amount of depth that Kansas possesses on its team. But I don't know, I'll be intrigued to see how this game comes out because it feels like whenever you go to Hilton, something crazy happens. You know, I mean, it's the hardest place to play for Kansas, right? Because I'm guessing you're saying the toughest in the Big 12 is the fog.
I'm not thinking, I'm knowing.
Okay, he's knowing. That was just me trying to assume what you were thinking there.
No, I know.
But
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. This game tonight will be big. Who has to have a big game tonight from Kansas perspective?
Hunter has to. There's no other option. He's got to have a big game. He's got to have 20.
Is there a correlation
double,
between him
double.
having a big game and them winning and him having a stinker and not winning?
Absolutely. I don't know what the number exactly would be, but just from a viewing standpoint, there 100% has to be, because when he's scoring 20 plus, they're winning more basketball games. He's going to get a double-double, but it's how many points is he going to get past that? I'd love to see KJ have a big game as well, but I just think Zeke's got to have a good one. Zeke's got to shoot the ball well. I'd love to see Ryland shoot. I mean, there's a lot of love. I'd want to see everyone play well, but Hunter is the one that needs to have a big game if KU wants to win, and I feel like that's the story every time. But I'm telling you, it comes down to turnovers early in this game. They have got to take care of the basketball on the road, and especially at Iowa State. They have to, because they'll beat you quick. They'll get on the board quick. You've got to take care of the basketball if you are Kansas tonight. That's going to be the difference between a winner or a loss.
Isn't it fascinating that Kansas struggles with turnovers at times and they have a point guard that has so much experience like DeJuan Harris?
It is. It really is. It truly is fascinating. But I think it's because there's so many other moving parts to a Bill Self offense. It's not just the point guard passing the ball to a shooter. It's the shooter passing the ball, the big man passing the ball. And that's leading to a lot of turnovers. And that's the problem when you have guys that are playing with each other for the first time in a Bill Self offense, is there's so much ball movement and so many moving parts to the offense that they're not always going to be on the same page because they don't know each other that well yet. So that just goes added to the list, Ross, of reasons why this might not work and might change in the future. But that being said, this has been a reoccurring issue in the last few years.
So
the turnovers, it has,
and you're blaming
has.
you're blaming that once again on pretty much transfer portal, new guys not knowing the system.
Not necessarily. I don't know what I'm blaming it on specifically, but it feels like that's been a reoccurring issue for the last 2 seasons for KU, maybe even 3 seasons, but of just really uncharacteristic mistakes for a Bill Self basketball team.
We will see. 6.5 point favorites are the Iowa State Cyclones going into tonight's game at home at Hilton Coliseum. That's number 2 Iowa State hosting number 9 Kansas. That game will tip off at 6 Central, 5 Mountain Time. You can watch it on ESPN2, and of course, listen to it at your home for the Kansas Jayhawks. Flyover Country 97.9.
And back lifts its ball deep to right. How about a look Grady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Speaking of Iowa State, did you see that ridiculous stat last night? I think it was the first time in 945 games that the Iowa State women did not record a 3-point make.
Interesting.
945 games.
That's what, about 3 years? Roughly?
Yes, just over 3
under?
years.
Over?
I think it's just over 3 years, I think. Somewhere in that. That's a lot. 945 games. Sorry, not 3 years. 30 years. 30 years. 30 years. 945 games.
Oh, games, not day. I thought you said days.
No,
games.
That's my point. 940.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Games.
That's ridiculous.
Since Iowa State women's basketball did not make a 3-point shot.
Wow.
Over 30 years. That is
Wow.
an unbelievable streak that came to an end.
That is impressive.
Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an incredible stat. I mean, that for women's basketball too. You'd think that's more of a boys basketball, is chucking up a 3, but
women are great. Women
they are.
really take advantage of the great 3-point
getting a lot
shooting.
better.
Did you happen to catch any highlights of Tiger in his TGL debut?
I didn't. I saw him sink one into the water, and then I saw lowlights last night. And then I saw someone shank one into the flag stick.
Oh yeah, that
out of
was
the
Kevin
bunker.
Kisner.
Yeah, that
Kevin
was good
Kisner
as well.
Shanked that one into the flag stick, which Tiger, everyone else lost their mind.
Yeah, that was pretty
I
funny.
wonder where that ball would have gone if you would have shanked it past the stick. It might have gone.
Oh
into
my!
the crowd.
That might have gone in the crowd. Someone would have gotten hurt. He is lucky. That's true. He's lucky that hit the flag stick. The other thing was a bullet.
Looks like me coming out of the bunker. That'll be it for us today. Thanks for listening. We're back again tomorrow on a Thursday. And don't forget, we've got Tech basketball tonight. 4 Days Tech Northwest hosts Colby Community College inside the Max Jones Fieldhouse. We'll talk to you tomorrow in 23 hours here on the Morning Blitz.